Hi there, and welcome to another episode of The Career is Confidential, where today we'll be talking about a topic and a question that I get asked quite a lot: how to rebrand yourself professionally. Now, why do I get asked this question? Quite simply, I spent 20 years as a management consultant in the oil and gas industry. I was a change manager and I really loved what I did. But some life changes happened and I needed to rebrand myself. So I took the portions and the parts of my former career that I deeply loved and enjoyed, and I've rebranded it into becoming a career strategist and an executive coach. So I still enjoy those portions of interacting and mentoring, working with women, my selected audience of choice. And so I'm going to be sharing 5 ways on how you can infuse a new brand into your career today. Now, before we start, tell me where you stand in your career. I'd love to know. So the first thing to do is to start with why. The logical thing to do. Why have you decided to rebrand yourself professionally? Is it because you needed a new motivation? Is it because you were made redundant and you needed a new avenue to pursue? Is it because of, like me, you had some major life changes happen? Now you want to know that narrative and you want to memorize it and own it really, really well, so that when you get asked, it's something that you can already spit out and it is so natural. So you need to know your new value proposition, you need to hone it in and be really clear what that brand is for you. And at the same time, you also need to know who you'll be serving, whether it is companies, whether it is clients, whether it's potential peers that you'll be networking with, so that you can marry your value proposition, this new brand that you're building, and who you'll be serving. And then the connection that you build as you go along will become more organic over time. So now the next point is to reset your online presence. Now that you know what your value proposition is and you know who you need to be connecting with, who your audience is, who you want to serve, now you need to go into all your social media profiles that are relevant professionally, such as LinkedIn, for example, or if you use Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, for example, for yourself professionally, go into those avenues and rebrand it, reset it, relaunch it with your new brand. Make sure you keep the relevant experience and take out whatever no longer applies, and give it a fresh new look, so that when people go and look at your profile, they know, oh, such and such has made a big change. Similarly, if you were associated or affiliated with networking groups or professional organizations from before, if they no longer apply, you need to remove them and maybe look for new ones to join. And if you still want to keep that profile, make sure you reset those as well. So now that you know your why, you own the narrative, and you've reset your online profile, the next thing to do is to leverage your experience. So go into your LinkedIn, your CV, or your resume, wherever it is that you have documented your experience base so far from your former career, and then take out the skills and accomplishments that are relevant. Be really picky and nitpick it, and so only transfer whatever is really, really relevant, really helpful in propelling you in your new career. So for example, if you were waitressing before, or you were traveling for a year and it's not relevant to your new career, you don't have to add that. Maybe it was relevant when you were in journalism, but you no longer are. Now, the fourth tip in rebranding yourself professionally is to start networking and connecting in your new brand, in your new profession. So think about networking both online and in person, and find new groups to build connections with, and start that immediately. The more people you talk to, the more people you share, hey, this is the transition that I'm going through. What was your experience like when you started in this? And be open, be vulnerable, and people will be more willing to share information and backstories with you, and also maybe open doors and connections for you. Similarly, for in-person events, now go look up whatever events are happening within your community, your area, your city, your state, even maybe your country, and see what events make sense for you to show up at. So if you are, say for example, an interior designer, you might want to go to the big interior design shows, attend some events, go into the networking evenings and socials. Or if you are a newly minted teacher, you want to go and speak to new teachers in a Facebook group, and then also attend a live business meeting with them. Their possibilities there are endless. So the last tip that I have for you is not really written down anywhere, but it is something that I am deeply a fan of. I advocate for this for anyone, and that is to infuse some magic Why is that? Well, simply because you want to make your new brand known, and the best way to do it is to do it in a memorable way and not just, the routine ways of going into your social platforms or updating your CV, resumes, trying to meet new people. All those are great and you need to do those too, but this is really going to make you stand out. Now, here are 3 ways that I personally have tried and advocate for. Number 1 is to organize a digital gathering of sorts. So leverage Eventbrite, Crowdcast, and similar platforms of those sorts, and be creative and think of ways on how you can get people you want to serve and connect with together. The second thing is to do video cards, as I call them. So when I changed careers from management consulting into career coaching and executive coaching and strategy, I did an outreach to 30 of my best and closest connections. And along with those emails, I sent a video postcard. It was a short introduction of me speaking just like I am to you right now. And also, I had a very simple digital postcard that says, here's how you can help me. So it took the guesswork out of it for them, and it was personalized, it was special, and loads of them replied back saying, hey, of course I'll help. And so that's a really easy way. Last but not least is what I say to infuse some magic of your new brand, personalize it, and then share it. Now, what do I mean by this? So you need to really think outside the box for this one. For example, if you're an interior designer, so you're switching from whatever you were doing before and now you're going into this, you're brand new, you don't know anyone, how can you best leverage your new skill? You could go into the biggest interior design shop in your community and say to them, hey, I'll do 2 hours of free interior design advice and promote your products. And at the same time, I'll have a banner with my name and, I'll just be showcasing myself. I just want to meet people. I want to meet new clients. Perhaps if you are a doctor and you're not going into journalism, a really creative way would be to write an article about you where you become the event and then release out a press release telling everyone, hey, this is my new brand, this is what I'm doing. So these are just some examples of how you can infuse some magic, as I call it, and you can be as creative as you want within the realms and boundaries of your industry, of course. If you are in a really rigid, a conservative industry like investment banking, you might want to take it down a notch. Or if you are in something totally creative like video production, you can be really, really bold. Anyway, I hope this has inspired you to think about a rebrand if you are considering one, or if you are already in the midst of one, that this will be helpful for you. That's all the time we have for you today. I hope you will watch some of our other videos, and if you are on IGTV, make sure you share this with a friend who you think can benefit. And if you are on YouTube, thumbs up for us and check out all these other videos which might be of interest to you too. Until then, have a beautiful day.